You're listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
Let's go, baby, from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Hello, New Orleans. You're listening to the Sport Coma, your number one podcast on everything Saints and a lot more. And now, here's your hosts, Big Q and the guys.
Welcome. You're now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. And we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports family. This podcast 373, we are underway, man, covering the Saints mini camp and other news and notes. And for those who don't know, we are the number one independent Saints podcast in the land, baby. Welcome aboard to all our new and established listeners of the Sports Coma. Thank you for joining us today, and I'd like to give you a round of applause as Drew starts us off with the traditional chant. Drew gets us going on our show every show, man, and it's good to hear Drew get it going, man. And I'm going to get it going right now. 373 on the podcast. We're covering the Saints' new acquisition of a wide receiver that we kind of talked about in the previous show when the Saints tried him out. And I was like, man, this makes too much sense. This guy obviously will be a ringer for the Saints. The Saints took a few days to take a look at Mr. Rishard Matthews before inking right now. The particulars of the deal are not public, but various reports believe that he is signed to a 1-year deal, and that's pretty good. But of course, you know, we had this talk on the live stream about wide receivers coming in, and we did make mention of the fact that I did say that the Saints are not done yet picking up veteran wide receivers. And I did put out a few lists for those who missed the live stream show. We talked about a short list of talent, Pierre Garçon and others. This one slipped right up under me. I never considered Rishard Matthews to be the guy, but the Saints ink him. We'll get into it today. Also, Saints mini camp as they shut it down and completed. Day 3, we'll go over some news and notes we got for you. And plus, we have interviews from Coach Payton breaking it down. Quarterbacks Drew Brees, Taysom Hill, and offensive lineman Terron Armstead. That's right, Terron Armstead. He didn't trip and fall. He didn't hurt his knee on the way to the interview, Mike. So there we go. Terron Armstead is is on the show today on the Sports Coma, man. So let's get it cracking, man. I have to say, man, this is a weird, kind of a unique deal right here because the Saints bring in this very talented wideout. I love this move, and I'm gonna tell you why. This guy isn't a fast guy. He's not extremely fast, but he has deceptive speed, meaning he ain't gonna outrace Elvin Kamara or Cyril Grayson or anybody. But what Matthews bring is the ability to separate and just run really great routes. This is a solid wide receiver. This guy's coming aboard, and he's not going to play fourth wide receiver. This man looking to take the third receiver position. I was asked a question on the live stream show this past weekend about who was the slot man, and I asked the man, I said, according to depth charts, it's Cameron Meredith. And then we had a discussion who could be the slot man. Could it be Austin Carr? Could it be Tre'Quan Smith? Could it be Keith Kirkwood? So on and so forth. Emmanuel Butler, Cyril Grayson. Who did I leave out, fans? Who did I leave out? Traven Durrell, who got released today. That's a part of the story that I wanted to talk about because we mentioned him. But as a part of the deal, signing this really good wide receiver and Rishard Matthews, who's 6 feet, 217 pounds, and the Saints tried him out. They seen a lot of them, decided, hey, man, we like this guy. He can really help us here. And sneaky good wide receiver that can actually help things. Now, during his peak back in 2015, 2017, he averaged about 58.5 yards per game, and caught 17 touchdowns. He can be very productive in the right scheme. And I would say, since we have a wide receiver friendly offense with a quarterback that wings it all over the place, this guy has really good hands. He runs really good routes, and he is a really good wide receiver to play the slot. He's a really good wide receiver. And the sports coma question of the day, I won't throw out there, man. Let's do the TSC question of the day for the people out there. Test your Saints brains. With the signing of Rishard Matthews, is he automatically your wide receiver, your third best wide receiver on the team? Is he your slot man? Does he win the job? Answer that question. Of course, we got Traquan. We got a lot of players. We got a lot of LaJordan Humphrey guys out there. We got Emmanuel Butler out there. Traven Durrell was the guy that were released as a corresponding move to bring this guy Rishard Matthews on the team, and that's too bad as he was released to make way. But this is an upgrade in terms of, no disrespect to Traven Durrell, but he was having an uphill battle to make the team anyway. And I just, like I said, I absolutely love this move. Love it. Absolutely love it. Now, before I get into more Rishard Matthews news and any more news breaking down the camps, let's hear what Coach Sean Payton had to say. Actually, let's go with Drew. The guys got Drew Brees lined up. Let's hear what Drew had to say in day 3 of the camp. Here we go.
Actual backup, Teddy Bridgewater, has he really made an impression on you in the last 6 months, especially seeing him run this playbook for the first time?
Yeah. So obviously we know how that all transpired last year. He came in right before the season, so big learning curve. Jumping right into a regular season with a new offense and a lot of new things. So I think our coaches, they've all looked forward to this offseason where he could get a lot of reps and a lot of time under his belt. And there's no doubt he's an extremely talented guy, but he works at it, and I think this offense suits him very well. A lot of things that we do and a lot of the capabilities that we have, and obviously with the creativity that we're able to incorporate to everything we do. So I think guys have a comfort level with him. I think he's got a great comfort level with the offense, and he's shown that throughout camp.
What's the adjustment been like with Eric Boy at center, just kind of getting used to him?
Yeah, I mean, just like any new center, and just the pace at which we operate. Each week we started adding stuff, and I think in the beginning you try to just be very basic and very elementary, and then as you get going, you try to make it a bit more complicated, just to, and we threw him in the fire. So I think that's the only way you really get better, and you got to stress yourself a little bit and put yourself in those uncomfortable situations. And I think all that's going to do is serve you well down the road as we continue to get more reps together. And then, as an offense, we kind of put in the whole playbook. But there's just so much communication that happens between quarterback and center. And so, add up the reps that we've had during OTAs and minicamp, it's really not that many, compared to a guy like, Max Unger, or a guy like Jonathan Goodwin, or, other centers that we've had here that just, training camp, we're going to get, 50 times as many reps as we got here in the last couple of days. So that'll be really good for both of us.
Drew, how would you compare Ingram and Murray? I mean, when you watch film and the expectations, obviously with Murray going forward.
Yeah. Obviously, I was very familiar with Mark. Played together for 8 years. Latavius has impressed me in a lot of ways. He's such a big physical guy. Obviously, we're not in pads out here, so you can't comment on a ton of just, the pure running style or physicality or anything yet. Certainly, from watching on film from Oakland to Minnesota, he definitely plays with that edge. I think he's picked up the offense well thus far, and it's nice when you can have two backs. Obviously for the last 2 years with Mark and Alvin, gives you a lot of flexibility and gives you a lot of creativity. So hopefully that'll be the same with him.
That's Drew Brees saying his thoughts on camp as well as other players on the team. And he made mention talking about Latavius Murray, which is interesting. Saints gave Latavius Murray a pretty good contract, so they're not expecting Latavius Murray to come in and be a second stringer in terms of not getting that many reps. I think the Saints will surprise a lot of people insofar as using him very similarly to how they used Mark Ingram. You know, of course, he's not Mark Ingram. We all know this. But if you think about, you know, what Latavius Murray does bring in here, I think it is special. I mean, it's very special. This guy is going to be a battering ram of a player. I mean, that's just what kind of dude the man is. He's going to be a battering ram, and I mean, it provides, like, I remember, I'm gonna go back because during the live show I kind of messed with a lot of people's mind when I was calling a few back in the day players. I'm gonna call one here today, Craig Ironhead Hayward from back in the day. We had guys like Mike Bell and all these kind of guys, but man, let me tell you something. Craig Ironhead Hayward was a guy that was damn near unstoppable. And I'm not saying Latavius Murray is that, but it takes 2 or 3 guys to bring Latavius Murray down to the damn ground. Come on. I mean, we played against him in Minnesota. You seen what he did in Oakland. The guy does not go down well. He hates being tackled. You know, he fending off and guys grabbing him and he just shaking them off. You know, and that was like a problem before Mark became really good as a running back in New Orleans. I remember the days when we first drafted him and he looked like crap. He was injured all the time. He was hesitant in hitting the holes. Now, eventually, after season after season, after being in the Saints offense, he got comfortable enough to know what the scheme was about and eventually hit it. And then you got used to saying, okay, we like what Ingram is now. But prior to that, it took Ingram a while to get going because a lot of people was frustrated by the fact that how Mark would get tackled so easy. A guy would whip at him at his leg and he'll just go down. He got a little tougher later on and started running a little hard with a lot of ferocity. But sometimes it took that competition with him and Hightower were competing with Hightower, took his job for a few games, and he had to run hard to get it back. What I'm saying with Latavius Murray is you can swipe at his feet all you damn want. It ain't bringing him down. You got to put hands on him and wrap him up to bring him down. And I just love having backs like that in a New Orleans offense as wide open as the Saints offense is. To hit a draw, spread them out, and draw it up the middle with Latavius Murray. Can you understand what I'm talking about, Saints family? Do you understand what I'm talking about with the potentiality that this guy brings to the offense? A true, like Drew said himself, physicality. That's one of the main factors that a guy like Latavius Murray introduces to the team. Now, going back to Rishard Matthews, the wide receiver, the 8th-year wide receiver veteran who played with the Jets, Titans, and Dolphins out of Nevada, 29 years old, 6 feet, 217 pounds. Best season coming in 2006 with the Titans. He played 16 games, started 9 of which, had 65 catches for 945 yards and 9 touchdowns with a 14.5 average on catches. Now for his career, 230 total catches for 3,160 yards, averaging almost 14 yards per catch, and he had 21 touchdowns in that 8-year career. Not bad, not groundbreaking, won't get him into the Hall of Fame, but it'll definitely give him a spot in the slot man. And I just love the fact that we get these handsy guys that's not very fast, but he's made for that slot position. 6 feet. He's going to do battle with guess who? Cameron Meredith. So I'm asking the people out there, what happens here? With the Saints bringing in Rishard Matthews, is that a tip of the hat? Is that a goodbye? Is that a see you later to Cameron Meredith, the injury-prone, huge wide receiver that we picked up a couple seasons ago from the Chicago Bears? Is that a tip of the hat to Cameron Meredith, who, remember, last year took a pay cut to remain with the team? If he had not taken the pay cut, the Saints would have released him then. But is this the end of Cameron Meredith? That is the Sports Coma question of the day. Is this the end of Cameron Meredith? And, of course, I'm asking that question a little earlier than most, but it intrigues me, because it puts pressure on Meredith to show up and come and play, to show that he's healthy enough to play. So the next topic of discussion is the Saints minicamp news, of course, dealing with the Saints minicamp. Saints wrapped up minicamp with a shortened session today, and it was the last day of camp. Payton closed it down about an hour early, and the defense gets credit for winning the day. Standout players were, of course, Marshawn Lattimore, who had a couple of breakups on Mike Thomas, cornerback Patrick Robinson, who had an interception off of Teddy Bridgewater, P. Rob's that second pick in the last couple of days. And then right now, according to Sean Payton, the focus is forward, and it's not been something that has been a topic of motivation. It's still about putting yourself in a position to get back. Every time at this time of the year, it's talking about the postseason opportunity to put a good season together. And playing a postseason, it starts with trying to win a division first. I would say for most, I'm sure that's in the rearview mirror. Now, of course, Payton says, speaking about Eric McCoy and Drew Brees, he was pleased with the second round pick. And of course, they had some bobbled snaps with Drew Bree, several of them last week. But now it appears that they're really working at. And of course, Sean Payton says he's an exceptionally smart, as you heard some of the critique that Sean gave on the when he was talking about the interview that happened last show, when he gave him credit for being exceptionally smart. But it's really goes to the credit of what New Orleans is doing, man. And I got to give them credit of how they were able to put things together. Now, with that being it, and Drew's coming back from his lawsuit in California, Drew has been kind of stressful on him. But let's go into with Coach. Let's talk to Sean Payton and see what his thoughts on of minicamp as of late. Here's Coach Payton to chime in and give you his thoughts.
He's got real exceptionally high football IQ. So he can get bored with it, and that's why we give him one of those little fidget things you twist when you can't pay attention. Spinner, is that what it is? Yeah. So he gets one of those fidget spinners.
Can you wildcat him, Coach, or would you prefer not to expose him to that?
Well, look, you can, and yet I'd rather the two end of it. I'd rather he on the front end with Taysom on the other end, but you can, yeah.
Have you ever given any others?
I know he threw a 4th and 1 play action pass at Tennessee from a wildcat set, kind of like a tight end pop pass. It was pretty good. Yeah, I think he can. He's athletic.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Given other guys fidget spinners before? Is that
It's the first. Alvin got the first. That was last fall. Reps, and we're kind of into the pads. But I think that was one of those. There's a series of moments, but that was one of them where it looked pretty good off tackle, and then there were a few more that season and that were really impressive.
Coach, at what point did everyone just have to say we have to move past the way last season ended and into 2019?
Well, I think, look, to answer that, the correct way I say it, that probably would vary per player, but I don't think it's something we're discussing or right now. Our focus is forward, and it hasn't been something that has been a topic of motivation. It's still about putting yourself in a position to get back and look. Every team at this time of the year is talking about the postseason and the opportunity to put a good season together and play in the postseason. It starts with trying to win your division first, but I would say for most, I'm sure that's in the rearview mirror.
Sean, this is mostly about install. What did you think?
That's Coach Sean Payton's thoughts on a palatable display of different topics. And you like I said, I definitely like with the Saints how they have been addressing the needs. They're not sitting back waiting, saying, "Well, we're just going to wait and see if this guy can mature." No, they're not doing that at all. They're setting out on a proactive mission to engage and bring competition to areas of that need competition. I mean, seriously. Excellent moves. The Rishard Matthews moves is a very solid move. That could very well, if things pan out and he doesn't get hurt, and he just showed us what he did just the last few seasons. When given an opportunity to play minutes, this man could really solve the slot position that we've been asking. Who's the slot man? Is it Traquan? Is it this guy? Is it that guy? I mean, Rishard Matthews comes in and he has to be a favorite to take the slot job. He's a pretty accomplished receiver. He's not as accomplished as a Ted Ginn Jr. He doesn't have Ted Ginn's speed, But what he brings is an excellent route running ability that's the perfect complement weapon that nobody's going to pay attention to. It's Rishard Matthews in the Saints offense. Do you understand that, family? You have Mike Thomas drawing attention, Jared Cook running around, Elvin Kamara. You got Ted Ginn taking the roof off, and then you got Rishard Matthews. I mean, just stellar moves by the Saints organization. How can you not be enthusiastic? Did you not hear Drew bring us in at the start of the season, fam? I mean, at the start of the show, fam. Did you not hear Drew excited about it? We are excited, and it's just the off season right now. Mini camp in it, and I'm just like, man, let's get the season on. Let's get it on. But like I said, man, I love the moves that the New Orleans Saints brass are doing. They're bringing guys in, even bringing rugby players in, see what they can offer, what they can contribute, and how they can help the team in any form or fashion. I don't expect much out of it, but you got to give them credit where credit due. You got to. Here's another quarterback, one of our favorite special teams guy and a very outstanding quarterback. And the question was asked on the previous show about Taysom Hill and why the Saints are not taking him serious as a quarterback. I'll answer that question, but let's listen what Taysom Hill had to say about minicamp. Here you go.
Is very vast. Do you kind of feel better knowing that you can cover a lot of different positions for this team?
Yeah, for sure. And I think the ultimate goal, especially at the quarterback position where there's one guy that plays, and to be able to add value in unique ways and to be able to get on the field is a huge bonus for me. And it's been so much fun, and that's what I want to do, is be on the field playing.
Did you do anything differently this offseason than you did last year?
No, I would say each offseason I want to take steps to be a better quarterback. So that's my focus, that's my emphasis, and that's been this offseason as we get to training camp. That'll still be my emphasis, and then as things start to develop and roles start to expand, then I'll start to hone in on what else I have going on.
I know you made it to a few Pelicans games last year. Are you excited for this upcoming season?
Oh yeah, super excited. Love getting in and watching the Pelicans play. And it's such a unique, different environment when you're playing. You get to be in the fans and hear the fans. But then when you're in the stadium cheering with the fans is a ton of fun for me, which is why I love to do it.
What's it been like having the same quarterback room, as last year? How is that beneficial for you? Like, how's that made this process?
Yeah, I think it's great. Anytime, especially in the NFL, and turnover is so high, to be able to have continuity, to go into an off season where you know what the expectation is, you know everybody, and you can continue to build that relationship has been a ton of fun, and it just makes the season and off season transition a little smoother, and it's been fun to have everybody back.
Taysom Hill, everybody. Taysom Hill giving a lot of comments on a variety of different topics. And for those who don't know, we do a Pelican show. It's called the Pelican Post-Game Report. You can subscribe to it on YouTube and Spreaker and check out all the latest comments and commentary covering the Pelicans by yours truly. Now, back to the Saints matters. I tell you what, man. Like I said before on the live stream, I think Taysom Hill is awesome, man. That's just my perception. And a lot of people agree with me about Taysom Hill. He's just awesome, man. He's awesome. He does it all. He has running back speed, actually wide receiver speed if you think about it. I mean, he outruns defensive backs. I mean, that guy is just terrific. He's an athlete. And the only thing that was holding Taysom Hill back was in terms of his accuracy, because he's looked at more of a running quarterback than if anything. But if you look at a few of the offseason practices and during the offseason, Taysom Hill has been working on his accuracy, and he's been throwing a better and tighter ball lately. Now, the question was posed, and y'all just have to forgive me. I was been trying to figure out and give credit to the man who asked me the question. If you're listening, shout yourself out because I've been trying to find that question for whatever reason. I can't find it. But I think one of the key things that need to be said about Taysom Hill is he asked the question, why is Taysom Hill not a guy that is considered for the quarterback position? Why is he not taken serious for the quarterback position? And, and my commentary on it is, at first, when they first brought Taysom Hill in, he was seen as a possible suitor to be able to take the reins from Drew Brees. And all of a sudden, the Saints obviously seen another need that they can employ him at. Now, if they felt for a second that they can use him in both capacities to be a solid backup and have him doing all the stuff that he's been doing with the special teams and all that kind of stuff, then they probably would have pulled it off. My thing is, he's still a factor in it, but you're looking at Teddy Bridgewater. But in my opinion, Bridgewater getting $17 million a year for backup because of what he's done, and Taysom's not really proven in that area. But the Saints have to, and I think Sean Payton said that a while ago, that he had the heir apparent in the building. When Drew finally hangs it up, I think if Taysom can put it together, he has been working on his accuracy. He is getting play in the QB room, and he has a lot to learn. I mean, he's in the QB room, he's in the special teams room. I mean, it's a lot to take up, and you can't deny his athletic ability. It's just he has to get better at the passing and throwing the passes and thinking more of a passer, not taking away his running ability. But you got to consider Taysom Hill as a possible guy when Drew Brees hangs it up that the Saints have to look at and say, well, if we can help him mature in this area, he might definitely be a guy that we can look at and say, you know what, we can kind of pencil him in as a possible Drew Brees replacement. Do you get me? But let's go into our last interview, and it's Terron Armstead. He is not on the injury list. He is healthy enough, and I got proof because he's doing the interview. Here's Terron Armstead.
Nick Easton, who hasn't been here before.
Yeah, I mean, we lean on each other, learn from each other. I definitely feel like I'm one of the leaders on the team. So the younger guys, I try to grab them, and anything I see that can be of value to them, I give it to them.
Dan Rishard earlier said that Eric McCoy has been learning a lot. He's picking up a lot of new things. Has he shown you anything that you think is going to be promising for the O-line this year?
From Eric? Yeah, for sure. His mindset alone, like his mentality, the way he approach every day, he's got a temperament about him to improve. Got some things to work on, of course, but I can see the potential in him.
Cool.
What's this offseason been like for you, kind of being healthy, most healthy, I think I've seen this in the past few years. What's that like, this process of being able to have a full head of steam, and going into a season?
No, it's been great. It's been great, especially having players like Ryan Ramczyk and Michael Ola right there with me. Them guys, they make work a whole lot easier. But no, I'm feeling pretty well. Excited to come back not excited for training camp, but excited to come back into training camp healthy and get this thing rolling.
Did you do anything
That's
different?
Terron Armstead, y'all. You heard what he said. He's healthy, and he's ready to go to camp. Isn't that lovely? We have a healthy Terron Armstead to go into camp. Love it. That is big news. That is big news. Don't you think that's big news, fam, that we got one of our best offensive linemen that's healthy when usually he's banged up or what have you? But he should be healthy because he had a lot of time to kind of recuperate, and hopefully we can keep Terron Armstead healthy the entire duration of the season, because I think the Saints could tote one of the best offensive lines in the league if Armstead stays healthy.
Perfect.
Right? I know y'all love it, man. I love it too. That'll do it for the show. I'd like to thank y'all for joining us on the Sports Coma Podcast 373. If you like the show, share the show. Share with other Saints family. You can drop it in the groups, Facebook groups, Twitter groups, whatever you want to do. Let them know about the Sports Coma. Help us out there in that area. Subscribe, hit the notification button and the like button to help the show increase. And if you want to donate, you go to patreon.com/PRO Media Network. So from me and the crew at the Sports Coma, thank y'all for listening. Peace.
I'm a Saints and Pelicans fan, so the only podcast I can get my fix is the Sports Coma with Big Q. The guy's intense, funny, and they always keep it real.
Check out the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Embrace Pet Insurance is more than just pet insurance. Embrace Pet Insurance promises to provide genuine support and certainty when your pet needs it the most.
With personalized accident and illness policies, compassionate customer care, 24/7 access to veterinary professionals, flexible wellness plans, timely claims processing, and online customer portals, their values is what makes them Embrace. So, when selecting a pet insurance company as a partner in your pet's care, you deserve a company that has your pet's best interests at heart. Get top-rated and review coverage for your pet today. Up to 90% back on bills at any vet, total protection, pet insurance and wellness, and dependable claims payments. Get the top-rated and review coverage for your pet today. Go to EmbracePetInsurance.com. That's EmbracePetInsurance.com. Check the link in the description section below.
Are you a boxing fan? Check out Ring Kings Boxing only on the PRO Media Network.
Sports fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love, unique one-of-a-kind designs exclusively by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars shipped directly to your home. Join Fanatics Rewards for free to earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and for a limited time. Get 20% off all orders. Fanatics.com. Officially licensed everything.
Hit the link below and rep the black and gold today. Who that? Do you need a domain name? How about a host for your website that can work with WordPress? Try Namecheap.com. They make registering, hosting, and managing domain names for yourself or others easy and affordable because the internet needs people. Namecheap is an ICANN accredited domain register and technology company founded in 2000. It's one of the fastest growing American companies according to the 2018 Inc. 5000, celebrating nearly 2 decades of providing unparalleled levels of service, security, and support. Namecheap has been steadfast in customer satisfaction with over 10 million domains under management. Namecheap is among the top domain registers and web providers in the world. They offer a full selection of popular and unique domains along with fully featured hosting packages, SSL security certificates, WhoisGuard privacy protections, and more, all at the lowest prices in the industry. So if you need a domain name or hosting or anything else, think Namecheap.com. That's right, Namecheap.com. Check the description section below for link.
Follow the Sports Coma on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.